When someone mentions potassium-rich foods, bananas are the first thing most people picture. Dairy products come to mind for others. But a single plain potato sitting in your kitchen right now contains more than 800 milligrams of potassium per piece, compared to roughly 350 to 380 milligrams in a full cup of milk, and more potassium than a medium banana at 422 milligrams. Despite this, potatoes are widely misunderstood as a high-carbohydrate food that raises blood sugar and blood pressure. Today I am going to completely reverse that misconception, show you the science behind how potatoes lower blood pressure, and give you 3 practical recipes that maximize these effects starting tonight. The scale of the hypertension problem makes this conversation urgent. Between 30 and 45% of adults worldwide have high blood pressure. Research has shown that a reduction of just 5 millimeters of mercury in systolic blood pressure is associated with a 34% reduction in stroke risk and a 21% reduction in cardiovascular mortality. That 5 millimeter reduction is achievable through diet, and the potato plays a more significant role than most people realize. The mechanism starts with potassium's relationship to sodium. When sodium accumulates in the body, blood vessel walls expand, blood volume increases, and blood pressure rises. Potassium counters this in 2 ways simultaneously. First, it signals the kidneys to excrete sodium in urine directly, reducing blood volume and vascular pressure. Second, it relaxes the smooth muscle lining blood vessels, causing them to dilate and further lowering resistance. Multiple large-scale meta-analyses have confirmed that increasing potassium intake reduces systolic blood pressure in people with hypertension by an average of 3.49 to 5 millimeters of mercury. One research group found that supplementary potassium accounted for 61 to 88% of the blood pressure lowering effects observed in their trial. The daily recommended intake of potassium for adults is approximately 3,500 to 4,700 milligrams, and most people fall well short of this. One whole potato with skin can supply 17 to 20% of this target in a single serving. But potatoes do more than deliver potassium. They are rich in chlorogenic acid, a polyphenol compound shown in multiple studies to improve endothelial function, reduce arterial stiffness, and inhibit angiotensin-converting enzyme, which is precisely the pathway targeted by a major class of blood pressure medications. Purple potatoes contain additional anthocyanins, and a clinical study found that regular consumption of anthocyanin-rich purple potatoes significantly reduced arterial stiffness in participants, with stiffness reduction directly translating to lower systolic blood pressure. Magnesium in potatoes at roughly 27 milligrams per 100 grams works alongside potassium to relax blood vessel walls, and deficiency in magnesium is independently associated with elevated blood pressure. Vitamin B6, which potatoes supply generously, helps lower homocysteine levels in the blood since elevated homocysteine damages vascular endothelium and accelerates atherosclerosis. Vitamin C in raw potato at about 19 milligrams per 100 grams, nearly 3 times the amount in apple, supports collagen synthesis that maintains arterial elasticity. How you cook the potato determines whether all of this matters. A potato prepared correctly becomes a blood pressure medicine. A potato prepared incorrectly becomes a liability. Research studying different preparation methods found that participants who ate baked or steamed whole potatoes with skin had the lowest systolic blood pressure readings and the highest urinary sodium excretion at 2,791 milligrams per day, proving that the potassium was actively driving sodium out of the body. The potato skin concentrates more than half of the fiber and a significant portion of the polyphenols. Removing the skin can reduce total nutritional value by 50 to 70%. Boiling peeled, cut potatoes leaches potassium into the cooking water, eliminating the very mineral you are trying to consume. Frying potatoes at high temperatures generates acrylamide, a suspected carcinogen, adds pro-inflammatory fats that elevate blood pressure, and dramatically increases caloric density. Adding heavy salt to any potato dish directly counteracts the potassium effect. since the ratio of sodium to potassium in the blood is more critical than the absolute amount of either mineral alone. One additional benefit of potatoes deserves its own mention: resistant starch. When you cook a potato and then cool it in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours, the starch molecules reorganize into a resistant structure that digestive enzymes cannot easily break down. Resistant starch raises blood sugar more slowly, feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and is associated with reduced post-meal insulin spikes and improved inflammatory markers in research studies. Cooling your cooked potato overnight and eating it cold or gently rewarmed at low temperature is one of the simplest dietary upgrades available to anyone managing blood sugar alongside blood pressure. Here are 3 practical recipes that put all of this together. The first is skin on baked potato with herb drizzle. Wash 2 medium potatoes thoroughly and bake them whole with skin in an air fryer at 200 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. While still hot, drizzle with 1 tablespoon of olive oil, half a teaspoon of lemon juice, and fresh chopped parsley or rosemary. Use minimal or no added salt. This single serving delivers approximately 820 milligrams of potassium, alongside chlorogenic acid and fiber. The second is a chilled resistant starch potato salad. Boil 3 medium whole potatoes with skin, cool completely, and refrigerate for at least 12 hours. Before eating, slice into bite-sized pieces, add 10 cherry tomatoes, half a sliced cucumber, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, 1 teaspoon of perilla or sesame oil, and a minimal pinch of salt. The resistant starch from cold potatoes and the lycopene and potassium from tomatoes combine to support both blood pressure and blood sugar stability simultaneously. The third is a Korean-style potato and seaweed miso soup. Bring 500 milliliters of water to a boil. Add 1 whole skin on potato and simmer for 10 minutes. Add a small handful of rehydrated sea kelp and dissolve half a tablespoon of fermented soybean paste for seasoning. Use no additional salt. The alginic acid in sea kelp actively promotes sodium excretion, creating a synergistic blood pressure lowering effect with the potato's potassium. A single bowl provides meaningful amounts of both potassium and magnesium. 4 important safety points must be stated clearly. Anyone with chronic kidney disease, especially if kidney function has fallen below 30% of normal, should not dramatically increase potato consumption without medical guidance, since impaired kidneys cannot excrete potassium efficiently, and elevated blood potassium levels can cause dangerous cardiac arrhythmias. If you are taking blood pressure medication, consult your doctor before significantly increasing dietary potassium, as the combination could cause blood pressure to fall too low. Never eat any part of a potato that has turned green or developed sprouts, since these areas contain solanine, a toxic alkaloid that causes headache, vomiting, and neurological symptoms. People with diabetes should choose cooled resistant starch potatoes over hot, freshly cooked potatoes and limit portions to 1 medium potato per meal. A 7-day starting plan is straightforward. Bake or steam 1 whole skin on potato tonight, and eat it with herbs and olive oil rather than salt. On day 2, boil 3 potatoes and refrigerate them overnight. On day 3, make the cold potato salad for lunch. Introduce the seaweed miso soup version on day 4 as a morning meal. By day 5, check how much your daily sodium consumption has shifted. By reviewing the salt you are no longer adding to potato dishes. By day 7, if you have a blood pressure monitor, take a morning reading before eating or drinking and record it. Dietary changes for blood pressure require 4 to 8 weeks of consistency before the full effect becomes measurable. But the foundation you lay in week 1 is real. A potato eaten correctly with its skin, prepared without frying, and seasoned without excess salt is one of the most complete and affordable blood pressure foods available anywhere on the planet. If this video helped you see it differently, please like it, share it with someone managing high blood pressure. Subscribe, and turn on notifications for a new health video every week. See you in the next one.